I dare you. I double dare you.
Hey guys, my last video titled 7 Liberal Myths caused quite the stir in the Democratic defense crowd. They claimed I was just taking things out of context, twisting the facts and exaggerating my claims without any proof to back them up. I didn't know I was expected to hand in a master's thesis with citations and a bibliography, but fair enough, those citations are at the end of this video. In this video, however, I'll let liberal Democrats speak for themselves. No snark, no editing other than for brevity, and no commentary except to explain what you're about to see. Here are the Democratic leaders liberals in America see fit to run our country. Ladies and gentlemen, first up is Sheila Jackson Lee. She's a congresswoman from Texas with a BA from Yale and a law degree from UVA. Oh, please let those facts sink in and remember them at the end of these series of clips. She famously asked a scientist at a tour of JPL if the Mars rover was going to be able to send back photos of the flag the astronauts placed there during the Apollo landings. Nope, I swore I wasn't going to be snarky. I literally could do a whole video just on her, but here are a few of her best moments. Sheila Jackson Lee thinks our Constitution is 400 years old.
That we have lasted some 400 years operating under a Constitution that clearly defines what is constitutional and what is not.
Longer than there've been stars up in the heavens.
She stands in Congress as a freed slave in 2014.
I stand here as a freed slave.
I'm free to do what I want.
She claims government handout entitlements are earned.
Entitlements that are not handouts, but they are earned.
Money, money, money.
Here she is convinced we won the war in Vietnam, and, well, I'll let her tell you all about Vietnam.
Victory had been achieved. Today we have two Vietnams, side by side, North and South, exchanging and working. We may not agree with all that North Vietnam is doing, but they are living in peace. I would look for a better human rights record for North Vietnam, but they're living side by side.
I've looked at love from both sides now.
Harry Reid is our senior senator from Nevada. Here he is trying to deny that he said something that he said a month earlier that was on TV.
Tales, stories made up from whole cloth, lies distorted by the Republicans to grab headlines or make political advertisements. Mr. President, that is simply untrue. I have never come to the floor, to my recollection, and never said a word about any of the examples that Republicans have given regarding Obamacare and how it's not very good.
Crazy. I'm crazy.
Maxine Waters is a congresswoman from the state of California. Here she is explaining her plan to make businesses better.
And guess what this liberal would be all about? This liberal will be all about socializing, would be about basically taking over and the government running all of your companies.
Does that make me crazy?
As a nod to my last video where the liberals said that I oversimplified Detroit, well, here's John Conyers. He represents a large portion of that city.
I love these members that get up and say, read the bill. What good is reading the bill if it's 1,000 pages and you don't have 2 days and 2 lawyers to find out what it means after you read the bill?
I'm just a bill.
Hank Johnson is a congressman from suburban Atlanta in Georgia. Here he is asking an admiral in the Navy, well, Hank will tell you all about it.
My fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
Rock the boat, don't rock the boat, baby. Rock the
And here he is, the self-proclaimed voice of the black poor.
But resist we much. We must and we will much about that be committed.
By now, I'm sure some people are screaming, he's racist. Well, they forgot about Harry Reid. He was white a little earlier, but here's some more white liberals in their own words.
If you make the most of it, you study hard, you do your homework, and you make an effort to be smart, you can do well. If you don't, you get stuck in a rack.
I took the initiative in creating the internet.
The reigning champ, Gaffmaster and Vice President of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
I'll tell you what, there's never been a day in the last 4 years I've been proud to be his vice president. Not one single day. Not one single day.
Go ahead, name one. I dare you. Citations from the last video. The gun law section is pretty much common sense to anyone who isn't a liberal gun hater. If there were a way to somehow grab every single gun in America, then maybe this argument might make sense. How would we do that? The same morons who say there is no way to find and do away with 11 to 12 million illegal aliens here think we can find and do away with 270 to 300 million guns. Obama's claim about ISIS and jobs to his Barbie doll idiot mouthpiece is self-explanatory. The stats about taxes came directly from a 60 Minutes interview with Nancy Pelosi by Chris Wallace. The part about welfare spending and military spending was the one they had the most conniption fit about. Where did I get these numbers? Because they are a lie. Well, they came from the White House. The figures I quoted about the military and welfare spending are all there in black and white on charts the Obama administration puts out. I said there were more people at the poverty level now than before welfare's inception. The liberals screamed how wrong that was, because if you use side-by-side numbers from 1963 and 2014, there are less people at the poverty level, they said. Well, here's a clue, guys. If they're on welfare, that means that they're poor. It sure means that to me. There are more people now on welfare and actually below the poverty level now than in 1963 if you take welfare rolls into account, which I did. The champions of the poor section was widely poo-pooed as overly simplistic. All I know is there are more people now than ever before, and they're a drain on our economy. Racism, surprisingly, no one challenged that section to the best of my knowledge at all. And finally, liberal economic policies are bad for America. Oh, how they gnashed their teeth and cried foul. Detroit had the auto industry fail, they said. There are too many factors to blame all of that city's woes on just liberal policies, they claim. Well, those claims are true. The apologists are actually right on those points. There are various reasons why Detroit is failing, but liberal policies are the main culprit. How can I claim that? Well, like the meme said at the end of the video, name any neighborhood, town, city, or state run primarily by liberals and it's either broke, bankrupt, or soon to be.